In this video, I'm going to show you how I made a market research agent that takes in just a URL and outputs me a complete market analysis sheet that's going to take in just this URL right here, which is my App Store link for my app called PupScan. And it's going to extract all this information like my brand aliases, a one-liner for my app. It's going to give me my market category, subcategories, target customers, primary jobs to be done, products, pricing, distribution channels. It's even going to find my competitors, and it's going to break down the categories that I should optimize my SEO for, audience keywords, Reddit keywords, and web searches for my SEO. That's going to help me create a much better marketing channel. So I'm going to show you how exactly I made this bot, and I'm even going to share the code down below so that you can copy this, run it in n8n, and use it for your own business. If you like learning about AI agents and you want to use these agents in your own business, I'm running a free lightning lesson on Maven that's going to teach you exactly how to do this. It'll be a 60-minute lesson walking you through building a new agent step by step. You can sign up below. It'll be free on December 4th. See you there. Here's how I made the agent. So first, we're going to go into n8n right here. n8n is the tool that is going to allow us to make AI agents without having to write any code. If you want to get started with n8n, you can see the links down in the description. And let's get started. So every n8n workflow is going to start with one key node, which is the trigger node. So in this case, I want the trigger node to be a form submission. And we have our production and test URLs right here that we can share with other people. And so they can submit this form as well. And when they do so, this workflow will automatically get triggered. So if I execute this step, what it's going to do is pull up another form, which you may or may not be able to see in this video. But essentially, all it is just a URL submission link. So I don't think you'll be able to see it in here, but what this is doing is it's listening for that form to be filled out. So in this case, let me go to PupScan, my app. This is the App Store link. I'll show you right here. Okay, PupScan Dog Translator. This is my app that's in the App Store now, and this is what I'm going to do my market research on. So let's take this link and let's go back to the agent that's listening for this. Let's go back here, and you can see that this node was executed successfully, and it has now pulled in the URL, and it's pulled in when this was submitted. So you can see 4:55 p.m. That's right now. So it's got the URL. Okay. Now let's go into the next node. The next node is going to be the message a model node. So this is a different node than other AI agent nodes that you might have used before in n8n. So if you're, let's say, adding another node, the most common AI based node is going to be this AI agent node. I'm sure you've seen it in many other instances in the past. This is not what we want to use right now. And the reason for that is the AI agent node is not going to let us use the web search functionality that OpenAI has, right? So the AI agent is only going to take in very basic information, and it's going to call the model, and it's going to give you an output, but you can't actually use tool calls within the AI agent. And here's what I mean by the tool calls. So I have a couple things that I've set up within this agent that let me use some of the more advanced tooling that OpenAI gives us. So we have our simplified output. We want to make sure that's checked. Search context size, we want to do high. And right here we have this built-in tool, right? And the way that we added that is we just go here, add built-in tool. So if you're building this node from scratch, when you add the built-in tool, you'll see another one called web search. I've already got it added here, so I don't need to add it again. But there are other tools you can use like file search and code interpreter. So we don't actually need those right now, but what we do need is this web search tool. So if I delete that, I'd be able to add it back in. Now, if you're actually using this workflow, you don't need to set any of this up. You can just copy and paste it, add in your own OpenAI API key credentials right here, and you're all set to go. You don't need to change anything here. You don't even need to change this JSON URL. You don't need to change anything. The prompts are all configured exactly how they should be. And I've even provided the JSON schema that you want the output to show. If you don't have this at the bottom here, the output format being a structured output, and you don't select JSON schema in this way, you're going to get responses that are kind of all over the place, because OpenAI is not going to know that it has to return only these kinds of outputs, right? It will respond with whatever it wants, right? So we don't want that. So we have to keep strict, and we have to keep output format as JSON schema, okay? So let's execute this. Now this will take a couple of minutes because it's searching the web. It's going to do all of this. So I'm going to let it run, and I will show you the outputs once I get them. All right, so we are back, and now we see that we have gotten the output that we requested. We can go in here, and we have this structured JSON, and so it's going to really define exactly what we want. So it's going to give us, type, object, properties, things like that. So you might see a couple of extra parameters here that you're noticing aren't really necessary, but that is because we defined the JSON as such that it responds with all these things, and that's just going to help keep our metadata cleaner for later. So I suggest you keep this as is, even though there are some fields that might seem redundant. I would recommend you just keep it as is. So here we go. We have our context profile that OpenAI has responded with. Here in the text is going to be really where our key fields are. So as you can see, just from submitting a URL, which was this App Store link, I don't even have a website for PupScan. It's just this link that I drive people to. This is my funnel. And just from this, OpenAI was able to extract all of this relevant information, and it created a whole profile for me that I'm now going to be able to use going into the future, and it's going to help me research much, much better. So here we go. Let's go through it. Company name, PupScan. Brand aliases, PupScan, PupScan Dog Translator, PupScan AI Dog Care. Here's the website. Here's the one-liner. Now, this is something that is not written on my website anywhere. You can kind of like search. Let's say, I copied that. Let's go over here. I paste this. So you can see like this sentence is nowhere in my description. This is something that the AI created for me, right? So it's already doing stuff that I have not created myself. It's helping me build out my company's context profile. So there's the one-liner. Market category. Again, I did not define this. It's figuring these things out. Market subcategories. These are all very relevant. Target customers, dog owners, pet parents, new puppy owners, families with dogs. That's exactly who my target audience is. And if you don't know, PupScan is an app to help with dog care. You can take a photo of your dog. It'll give you health updates. It'll give you kind of like, emotional readings. You can scan their poop for any, health issues, things like that. Now, it's going to also give me jobs to be done, right? So if you have ever worked in a corporate context, jobs to be done is one of the things that teams really align around. A marketing team will say, these are my jobs to be done. A sales team will say, these are my jobs to be done. In this context, the primary jobs to be done are the things that the app is actually going to do and provide to the customer. So understand a dog's mood and stress levels, get a quick guidance on stool, and onwards. It's even going to break down the core products. So, core product number 1, PupScan iOS app does this. And then here are the key features. Key feature 1, key feature 2, 3, 4. So it's picking all of these details out based just on the context that we gave it and the structured output that we're forcing it to give us. And then it's going to research, and it's going to provide all these things for us. And it's also going to look at stuff that's not on the URL that I gave it. We enabled this web search tool so that it can go outside of just that one website and it can find our competitors. So these are competitors that I don't actually know of all of them, like Woof. I think I know Woof. Petafive, okay, that sounds weird even to say, but they could have maybe chosen a better name. But I've never heard of this one. We can check to see if they're actually real links or if they are broken. So, all right, there we go. So it's not hallucinating, right? We can see that these are actual links. I see that I have some copycats now in the App Store that I didn't know about. So this is all very helpful information. And here we go. We're seeing more competitors here that it's finding. So there we go. And then now we're getting more into the SEO research. So category keywords. These are things that you're going to be really useful for searching in SEO tools like Moz or SEMrush or things like that. Audience keywords. These are more like what are search terms that people are going to search on Google or on YouTube or on Instagram that you can target. And then we have even more specific Reddit keyword searches. If you have ever done Reddit or you've used Reddit for market research, you know how valuable it is. And I've actually made another agent just on Reddit marketing. So you can check my channel and you can download that bot as well. And these work really well together. You can use these search terms and then you can apply them as keywords in that Reddit bot. And that's going to help you do daily searches through Reddit. Same thing, we have web search queries. So going on and on, we can see that this thing made a really, really good effort to search the web, to figure out what my business is and what it does. And it's going to compile all that information. So we have the output that we want here. Now we need to actually organize it into something that's useful. So the next node that we have here is a transform node. So the transform node lets you input any kind of data and then transform it into the actual data type, the data structure that you want. So here, I'm just going to put in the really key components of the context profile that I wanted, and it's going to give me a better structure for that data. So here I just have the URL, when it was submitted, and then the full context profile here with all that other junk that we initially had taken out. So we'll create the context profile first. This has all the relevant information, and then we'll break it down into its subcomponents. So we have the SEO profile. So the SEO profile is going to be stuff like the company name, brand aliases, one-liner, market categories, keywords, audience keywords, Reddit, things that are just focused on web-based, growth and marketing. So that's going to create the SEO profile. And then here we're going to have our competitive research or our competitor research. We're going to break down each competitor one by one. We're going to extract all of this data and then store it. And then we'll do the same for our own product mapping. And the reason to do all of these is that now we have this data stored in a way that is really useful just for that specific context. So now, let's say I want to go into another message and model node where I want to do another web search on my competitors, and I want to get competitor research every single week. I can take those keywords, I can take those competitor URLs, and I can feed it to a model node, and I can have it do that research on a timed trigger basis, right? So if I want research on what are these competitors doing every single week, I can just feed those, put in a very similar prompt and have it run every week, and it'll give me that research. If I want to do, category trends, I can put it again into that model. I can say, find me the trends for, this category with these keywords every single week and compile that into a report. So what we're doing is we're building these separate profiles and these separate sheets that will store everything. And we will then save that data right here in this Google Sheet node. So it's saved in one place and we can run it on a regular cadence, and it'll create that profile every single week because, your business is not constant. It's always changing. There are new competitors, there are new things in the market all the time. And so if you want to run this, you want to be aware of exactly what's going on, you can run this every single week. It will create this for you, and then it will execute this step, and it's going to fill out, everything that you need into this Google Sheet. We can see there were 2 lines before. Now we have 3 lines here. And, for the most part, everything's going to be the same because I ran these just today. But as things change, we'll see that there will be new competitors. So even here, you can see the competitors are different. You can see some of the keywords will be different, especially the Reddit keywords, audience keywords. You'll see these update as the market updates and as things change in your competitive landscape. So this bot is really made to run every week, every 2 weeks if you'd like, give you that competitive research, and the output is going to be a structured kind of data format, data output that you can then use to run even more advanced analysis. If you want competitive research every single day, you can take this output, you can run another node, and you can say, provide me a report that's going to give me competitive research every single day. If you want to do the same thing across your whole industry, you can provide those keywords. If you want to do the same thing only on Reddit, you can take those Reddit keywords. You can use my Reddit bot. You can have reports every hour if you'd like. So this is a market intelligence agent. It's going to take in just your URL. It's going to give you a complete context profile of your business, your market, your industry, and your competitors, all in one node, one workflow, and you can get it below. Thanks for watching. If you like learning about AI agents and you want to use these agents in your own business, I'm running a free lightning lesson on Maven that's going to teach you exactly how to do this. It'll be a 60-minute lesson walking you through building a new agent step by step. You can sign up below. It'll be free on December 4th. See you there.